Hello, Miss Branger.
Hi,
Hi, I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me and go over Malia's report today.
no problem.
Yeah, so we're just going to start off doing a brief overview of some of the things on her case history, just to make sure I'm accurately representing them. I can see that she's hit all of her developmental milestones, and which is great. It is important though, I'm going to mention her history of the ear infections and her past hearing screening that she had. I just want to discuss this a little further, just because as we're looking at her history, hearing is very important for speech. So we need to be able to hear the sounds made from others, and we need to be able to hear the sounds that we ourselves are making when we're speaking. So if there's any kind of slight hearing issue or anything which can affect our speech, we need to find that out as soon as possible. So I do want to recommend that she see an audiologist just to kind of cross that off our list. But regarding her strengths, I can see that Malia's excelling academically, and she's got no concerns. We've got no concerns with her grades or her social skills, which is great. I can see that she's a very outgoing child and she enjoys a wide variety of extracurriculars, which is also really, really good to note. I know you had mentioned that she's a member of several after school clubs and she's on a dance team and she's got a bunch of friends at school and in her neighborhood. So that's kind of telling me that she's not struggling in any social areas. Um, so now that we've covered a little bit of her history, I'm going to kind of switch gears and talk about the assessment scores. So I gave Malia the Goldman-Fristow test of articulation, and this just looks at her speech and how she's producing different sounds in a variety of words. And those results are going to tell us how she's performing when compared to her peers and kind of what sounds she might be struggling with as well, and where in words she might struggle with producing sounds. So there's three spots. It could be the initial sound or like the front of the word, could be the medial or kind of the middle of the word, or it could be the final, which is like the end sound in a word. So I'd really like to mention though that while giving this assessment, Malia did an excellent job staying on task. She was listening really well. She was following directions. So that was all good. Um, so now we're going to talk about kind of her scores for this assessment. She got a raw score of 45. Now, this raw score tells us nothing. It's what's gonna give us her standard score, and the standard score is gonna tell us where she's kind of standing among her peers. So with a raw score of 45, her standard score is gonna be 40. Now, on this assessment, a 40 does mean that she is in need of speech services at this time. It means that she scored in the 10th percentile, so she's performing better than 10% of her peers. And I would like to just really quickly point out this test was not a test of intelligence at all. It's simply outlining where she might have some troubles making certain sounds in her words. And as we know, she's an incredibly bright child. She's just needing a little bit of help with how she's saying her words. So specifically, we now know due to this assessment that she's struggling more with that initial or the front sound in words. And she's also going to need some help with those middle and end sounds. So due to the information on this test and with Malia's own complaints about her speech, we can kind of gather that these struggles are impacting her communication and how she's being understood by others. Now, this can kind of play out in her everyday life, and it can begin to impact her academically as her classes are growing more challenging during her social life. So, the assessment is showing that she has what we would call a speech sound disorder. Now, that just means that she's got some troubles producing sounds for speech. And this assessment has given us, based on those sounds that we know she's struggling with, a great starting point for therapy because now we know what sound she's struggling and where she struggles making those sounds in words. So I'm not concerned about her performance in any areas other than hearing and speech. She's doing excellent in every other area. Um, Like I said, I'm gonna recommend that she see an audiologist just so that we can kind of cross that off our list and make sure there's no underlying kind of things related to hearing that could result in us needing to change up our plan or anything else. So in regards to speech, I do recommend that she receive services at this time. We're going to use a targeted approach for her articulation and to kind of address those challenges I previously mentioned. I'm going to recommend that she come in twice a week to start, and then based on how she does, we can adjust that accordingly. So if she needs to come in more, we can do that. If she can come in, if she can, and then if she needs to come in less, like we can work on that and kind of see how her progress is going from there. Our main goal, though, is to do what's best for Malia and to help her strengthen her speech sounds so that she's understood and so that she feels confident when she's speaking. These therapy sessions are going to be tailored to her interests when at all possible. So I'd like to pull some stuff in that she really enjoys doing. And I would also like to include you as much as possible when you're available, because I can see you're going to be a very strong support for her. I'm also going to provide you with a few additional resources. These are just for you. If you'd like to go look at them, you don't have to. The first is going to be a link to, it's called the American Speech and Hearing Association. It's their website, and they've got some excellent resources and information regarding the speech sound disorders and articulation. And again, this is just for you to look up if you want to. And our second one that I'm going to provide you is, it's a link to a website that's called the Peachy Speechy. And they've got some great free videos and free downloadable worksheets that if you would like, you can practice at home with Malia once we begin therapy. These videos are going to be taught and produced by a licensed SLP. And I would like to note, if you, the link I give you is going to be to those videos, but if you explore the site a little bit, they do have items for purchase. That's not what I'm recommending at all. You absolutely do not need to go buy additional things for her. And I would also recommend, before you start showing her the videos and working on things with her, wait till we start that in therapy, just so I can make sure I'm recommending the right videos for you to look at based on the sounds we're teaching. And that some of them might vary based on the techniques I'm teaching her. So I just want to make sure those videos align with what we're doing in therapy. I would also be more than happy to provide you with any other additional resources. And I want to stress again that this will be a team effort for Malia. And our end goal is going to be to do what's best for her and to get her to a place where she's happy with her speech. So I'd like to say thank you very much for coming in. I know this was a lot of information, but I'll be more than happy to answer any calls or emails as you might have further questions arising. Please do not hesitate to reach out. But do you have any further questions for me at this time?
Okay, I do. So does this mean that Malia will never get better?
Absolutely not. So Malia, I can see, is extremely motivated, and she has that strong support system with you and her family. So she should flourish in therapy, and I can see that she probably has an excellent prognosis.
Okay, and then so what will therapy look like when Malia goes?
Yeah, so I can't tell you for sure exactly how yet, just because I haven't created any plans for her. But I will say generally she's going to come in that twice a week for about 30 minutes. And we're going to work together with her, either one-on-one with me and her, or if you would like to come to therapy, you're welcome to as well. We can involve you. We're going to do kind of a variety of activities that would all center on those speech sounds that we need to work on and the positions of those sounds in the words. And I might also send her with some take-home activities for you guys to work on together. So I'm sorry, did you have any other questions for me at this time?
No, that's all.
No? All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in to speak with me, and I'm looking forward to working with you and Malia in the future.
Thank you so much.
Bye.